Hey, me, Callie Carroll. Good morning, sunshine.
Morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine.
Oh, good morning, sunshines. Daily dose of perspective. Good morning, sweet baby sunshines.
Good morning, sunshines. Let's get started.
Hey guys, Morning Sunshine. It's Callie Carroll here. And we're going to talk about hives and sleeping through the night. What a great conversation. A natural combination, obvious to everyone. Before we get started, say good morning, sunshine, or hashtag GMS down there in the comments and share something that you're grateful for, making your emotional state even a little bit more bright this morning. Why not, right? I am personally grateful for my son, my little baby boy, sleeping from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. without drinking chocolate, which is like a protein shake, chocolate. Didn't have any water. We didn't have to wake him up and change his diaper. I don't have to wash my sheets this morning. That's badass. And it feels pretty great. It feels pretty great. I'm not going to lie. So share something you're grateful for. And that does tie in today's conversation, today's daily dose of perspective, where sometimes just kind of sharing about my life brings great perspective. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was brought these experiences. So I might as well share about them. And that's where we dive into the highs. As you guys know, little Wit and John, he's 2 years since his 2.5 years since his cancer diagnosis. And although the cancer is not curable and there is a recurrence rate, we really on a day-to-day basis are managing this other disease called AVP deficiency or diabetes insipidus, where he can't manage a hormone in his brain that produces this vasopressin, which is what stops your body from peeing. So he has a very hard time regulating his water and his sodium levels on his own, which is why we have to use medication. And on Monday morning, and I'm still learning about this, by the way, I think the people in our private group, praise be, shout out to Facebook private groups where you can collaborate with people experiencing same things. Since this is such a rare disease, there's not a lot of people who have it. So we're in a Facebook group where we can really share and dive down deep into it because the doctors have no effing clue. I'm sorry, doctors, if you're a doctor, if you're an endocrinologist, if you're my endocrinologist, really sorry. But they just don't understand actually living with this disease and how to manage it on a day-to-day basis. There are very few doctors that I found, one particularly in Sweden, who has been supportive so far. As it turns out, this Facebook group, right, it really helps us kind of understand the disease. And on Monday morning, whatever, a couple days ago, my son woke up and his tummy hurt. And I'm like, oh man, that's a bummer, buddy, but it's gonna go away naturally. And I give him his like normal, like he's at grandma's house. He has a couple drinks of water, which might be like multiple cups because he like usually chugs them in the morning because he goes through breakthrough. His medication stops working, his desmopressin stops working. He gets uncontrollably thirsty for very cold liquids because his body starts to go into this, oh my gosh, I'm so dehydrated state, and he'll start drinking and peeing. So normal morning, he has a couple drinks, and I'm calling grandma. I'm like, all right, hey, just tell little buddy we're getting ready to go to school. And she's like, okay, sounds good. And she's like, wait, nope, he's barfing everywhere. So she looks over. He's just erupting from his little beautiful body. And thus begins the last 3 days of trying to figure out what is going on with Wit and John. It's a little game that you play when you have a child with other sort of medical conditions when it's much more difficult to pinpoint a problem. And during that day, we just like laid low, stayed home. Okay, cool. And I'm waiting for his breakthrough. So what happens with the disease is we re-administer his medication when he starts to pee excessively and have this thirst. But because he vomited and we have no idea what's going on, we're like, let's just not medicate him. And usually we give him medicine like around 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Okay, so now it's like 4 p.m. Still haven't given medicine, still hasn't needed it, still hasn't really peed, hasn't peed anything clear, hasn't eaten a thing all day. And I'm like, I don't, maybe he's just got like a tummy bug. It's cool, no problem. And then I don't know, like 6 p.m., he takes a couple more sips of milk. Maybe an ounce, let's be fair. And we're downstairs and I look over and gratitude number one, bing, he has ran upstairs and he's grabbed his own little barf bag and he's losing it into this barf bag. He didn't spill a lick of barf. He knew to grab the bag. And after he puked, he felt better. And I was like, so much gratitude in my heart for the fact that this little baby boy can grab a puke bag. High five. Good job, buddy. So after this point, I'm like, I don't really know, like, when should I medicate him? He's still in the breakthrough. And I end up giving him right before bed. He has clear pee. I end up giving him about a third of the dose, a little bit less than a third of the dose of his medicine for the night, because What's interesting about the disease is if you're over medicated and you drink, or if you're medicated and you drink too much, it makes you sick because then your body has too much water in it and you can't pee it out. So it actually stops your body from peeing. So when it stops your body from peeing, if you chugged water, then you could die because that's too much water. It lowers your sodium, it can give you a seizure, and there's like a lot of bad things when you overhydrate yourself. So we don't want that. So I give him way less medicine, thinking I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and I'm going to have to re-administer more medicine and get him his chocolates and all the things. And he only has a couple chocolates. He doesn't need medication. And that little baby dose lasts all the way until the next day at 12. I'm like, this is super crazy. Thus enters the hives. The next morning, he's got little hives all over his body. I'm like, okay, now what's happening? Is he, is he sick because he is over medicated, or is medicine not working because he's sick? And we're still trying to figure out, but now he has hives. So that's a sign of something. Is he allergic to something? We don't really know. We just go about our day doing the normal things. He wants to go to the park and play. The doctor says, okay, go on over to the park. So we do that. And then he tries to eat pizza for the first time in 2 days. Ralph's all over at the park. You're welcome, everybody who went to the baseball park. We did our best to clean it up. That was simply our best. Moving on to last night. Same thing, waiting for, like, trying to figure out when to give his medication dose. And I just finally end up doing the same small dose right before bed. I make my 3 protein shakes, 1 extra's in the fridge. I fill up my ice water. I go put the protein shakes in the refrigerator next to our bed, because that's what you do when you have this sort of condition. We make sure that all the pee pads are laid out, that we have the pee pad on top of the pee pad, so we don't have to wash our mattress as often, because that's gross, even though we have a mattress protector, but it doesn't protect after peeing through your bed for, a year. Even if you buy multiple ones, by the way. And I do all this stuff, right? My normal bedtime routine, and we go to bed, and lo and behold, my child, as I stated previously in my gratitude, sleeps all the way from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m., maybe even a little bit later. And I check his diaper. Does that mean mom sleeps? Not exactly, because I'm still checking his diaper. I'm seeing what time it is. I'm trying to acknowledge how long the medication's working, so that I have gathered information for future scenarios. Plus, we have scans next week, and I have no idea how to medicate him for scans if I don't know what I'm doing. So I've got this, I should have brought my spreadsheet down here. I've got this spreadsheet of exactly what's happening, when breakthrough are, what he's eaten, when he's puked, what he's drank, all the different things. Okay, so spreadsheet's there. I wake up at 5 a.m. He's still dry. All 3 chocolate lattes are still in the fridge. We haven't touched our water. I go downstairs to celebrate. He comes down 30 minutes later, and it was just an awesome night. Although when he came down, he looked a tidbit like a Halloween monster covered in hives. His lips are swollen. He's just got them all over his back, his body, his face, everywhere. You can just imagine, if you guys have seen hives. Has anybody had hives before? It's not attractive. It's not great, right? So we call the doctor. We're like, all right, so it has progressed a little bit. Is there something different we should be doing? We have scans in 5 days now. We want to make sure that he's able to do those. And because LCH is a skin-based disease, a lot of times, they're like, let's go ahead and get you in to be seen. And I want to circle around all of this, because throughout that process, although there are some stressful things that are there, nobody ever wants their kid to have hives. They never want their kid to feel sick. They never want them to have discomfort, all of those different things. Very natural, right? And either do I. At the same time, even though my baby boy is covered in hives, I feel like Nancy Drew in this discovery and really understanding how, because it's why is this all working like this? Why isn't he medicated now? When your body is sick, all of your other organs in your body secrete the vasopressin, not all of them, but some of them, the vasopressin, which is that hormone that you need to stop peeing. So his body is naturally producing that hormone from other areas. In my brain, number one, I'm like, ding, every single time my kid's sick, there's going to be a little bit of relief for him in terms of sleep and medication. And although we have to try to figure out exactly how to balance it, that's going to be a positive thing for him. And the other thing is there's something there to a potential solution and possible cure to an incurable disease if other organs can secrete this hormone, but we don't know why or how that stress or pressure or what else could make them secrete that hormone if your pituitary has had a tumor in it or been cut by a doctor, which is a lot of people that get DI. It's because they went and had some sort of brain surgery and the doctor actually cuts their pituitary or nicks it or whatever. And that's a really freaking cool thing. And I like to share this because my come from and the way that I show up to what could be an aggravating situation or frustrating situation. I really do look for the light in everything while still caring for my son, while still making sure that I'm there to support him in every way that I can and cuddling him. But really, like, he's a happy little dude. He's out playing with grandma right now. So being attentive to him, but at the same time, looking at all the different things that I have to be grateful for. He knows how to get his own barf bag. He's happy even when he's sick, because he's been so sick so much. It's something that he knows, and he knows how to be happy for it. He's a super tough little warrior. He gets to sleep when he possibly, right? He gets to sleep and adjust his medication when he has any sort of illness going on. I'm learning how to readjust his medication for that sort of process. And even though it might be stressful going into scans, not knowing if we're going to get them, I hope, you guys, let's pray that we can still get them and that we figure all of his medication out by that night. But all of the different aspects that I get to focus on make me show up to my day a certain way. They allow for me to move through my life a certain way. And the reminder for all of us, what we choose to focus on will form our attitude, will form our vibrations, and will form our day. And in return, we are going to get more of the same back in our life. And that's going to form our tomorrow, not just our today and our next day and our next day and our next day. And I think just connecting, and we could connect with this on a daily basis where our focus is. I don't care if that's all daily dose of a perspective is, like, it's just continually acknowledging the fact that we have control of our happiness and where we're moving next in our life by what we choose to focus on. And I'm focused on full night's sleep. Are we covered in hives from head to toe? Yes. Are we going to the doctor in about an hour? Absolutely. Are we going to get scans next week? I don't know, but I'm going to focus on some other different things that are positive. Okay, that's all I got. You guys, I love you. Good morning, sunshines. Don't forget, perspective reveals miracles. Why is that so hard to say? Anywho, bye, guys.
Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and, of course, share with your friends. Guys, that's how we impact more lives. All right, see you next time.